Hey, Jack, how you doing, man? You can take tab, no, that's okay. You can Okay. All right, Chef, can you say something so I can make sure I can hear you?
Mr. Treasurer, I mean, Mr. Secretary. That's the
Hello.
Terry, can you speak up? Chapman, can you hear me? You can thumbs up if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
We can hear you too. So I just want to make sure. All right.
I don't see anybody, but I can hear.
Let me turn the camera on.
Okay, I got
Okay, we full night tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. We got a full evening tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead. I usually give you guys like to 5 after, but because it's a busy night, I'm gonna go ahead and get started now. So what we're gonna do, if you wanna participate in the Narcan training tonight, please make sure you sign the sign-in sheet because that's how you're gonna be able to get your kit, okay? Also, I did not have a sign-in sheet, but I am going to share Dr. Dudley's sheet tonight. So I will still know who all was here tonight. She will make a copy, or we're gonna scan it, and I'll make sure that you guys, so you don't have to sign in with her, sign in with me. That's too much signing in. So one sign in, we'll work the rest of it out. Also, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay. What else? I have a few updates real quick. Okay, as far as our minutes.
Hey, Kim, we'll be in 1 second so you can get started. Give me like
Okay.
2 minutes.
We are starting. I love you. Okay. Who are you starting? Oh, he hasn't, but we can wait on him. Yeah, you are here. We're here. Okay, so we start? Yes, we're here. Okay. So what we're gonna do, if I have the minutes here, and I did not read and proof the minutes. So I did not want to share them with you guys yet. So in May, you're gonna get March's minutes and April's minutes, okay? So you're gonna get 2 sets of minutes, but it's my fault, I did not, okay? So I don't wanna just give it out and we haven't gone over everything yet. Also, we have, don't forget the Easter event will be April 19th. Our next meeting in May, and I want you guys to pass this on. I went and I told you guys about my AT&T experience. So I have AT&T coming to the May meeting. They're going to help you with bill, any discounts that you guys should have, any questions about your bill. What they cannot do is help people with your email and your Facebook account. That's what people come to them as asking about, Facebook and email. That's not what they do. But they're gonna bring a couple representatives and they're gonna be able to answer questions, give you discounts, talk about plans, work to get your bill down. And I'm gonna do the same thing with Verizon. So if anybody doesn't want to do AT&T, I'm gonna get Verizon in here next. They're gonna work with us. They're gonna work with the community. Well, I'll do T-Mobile. I will do that too. Thank you. Please remind me that. I will do T-Mobile. So next we'll get Verizon and T-Mobile in. So, but we're gonna start out with AT&T, okay? So that's the plan. All right, y'all serving my meat. Okay, so I wanted you guys to be aware that, so if you know people that need to want to discuss the bill or talk about AT&T, please make sure you let them know they're at the meeting, and I want to say I'm gonna probably sit them up in the back so that they can try to, take care of you guys, during the meeting as long as it stays civil. Police Week is May 15th. That is the community day, and I'm giving it to you in advance. The community day is going to be May 15th. That is the day that we're going to feed all 3 shifts for our officers. The first shift, second shift, third shift. I just say day, afternoons, and midnight. Okay? That is the day. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. Because our next meeting is 13th, and that's the week, Police Week. So we have our meeting on Tuesday. The officers that we're gonna take care of will be that Thursday. Okay, I am gonna send out, and what I'm gonna have the secretary make a flyer, and we're gonna send you guys like a reminder. I don't want you guys to bring anything. If you like to donate, maybe like the paper plates or pops, water, something like that, that's fine. If you want to do monetary, that's fine. But I usually make sure that they, either are catered or someone brings something in, that type thing. I'm still COVID. I'm not playing. This is how we're gonna run it. Okay, so I'd rather, that's just the way it's gonna happen. I know everybody, want to bring something, but no, we're not doing that. I'm not there. Okay, not there. Kiana, please tell me if I'm wrong. We received an email, and I got a couple of phone calls and texts that the email that came out from the city said that yard waste is every 2 weeks, but it is every week.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was an error. They were supposed to retract that, but it is yard waste, bulk, and recycling weekly as of last year, June 1st.
Yeah, okay.
So, yard waste has started back up to, that kind of settled in the winter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that up April 3rd. So you all can set up your yard waste every week at the burn, and it will be picked up as it should.
Okay, perfect. All right, wanted to make sure we had that. So it is every week, okay? So if you guys got the text, disregard that text, but it is every week. I call Kiana like screaming. It's not right. Okay. I'm done. I'm keeping it short and sweet. You guys know $25 dues. It goes from March to March. It's per household, not per person. Okay, it is a household. Okay. I'm all done. Are you guys good? Well, Dr. Doug is gonna go back because he was so you go back. Yeah. Because last year we did. Yeah, no, because you guys be the ones getting emergency call, not you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. I'm Commander Michael Chambers from 11th Precinct. I just want to welcome you all. Thank you for coming tonight. I see a lot of familiar faces. I see some new faces. So welcome all. We greatly appreciate you coming out so we can share what we have to offer and also hear from you as well. So I just want to talk real quick, briefly about crime. At the last meeting, I kind of talked about how we closed 2024 and a lot of our success with a lot of different crime reduction. We're continuing that this year. So we measure 9 different crime categories, and in those 9 different categories, we're down in 8 of them. The only one that we're up slightly in is carjacking. We have 1 for the year, and at this point last year we had 0. So that's the only one that we're up there. But on a positive note here, homicides, at this point last year, we had 7. This year, year to date, we have 1 for the year. So we're down 85% on homicides. We're seeing a 16.7 reduction in our sexual assault. We're also down in our non-fatal shootings. At this point last year, we had 11. We have 7 this year. So we're down 4 for a reduction of 36%. And out of those 7 that we do have, we've closed 4 of them. So we have 2 more that are close to being closed. So we're doing well in that area. We're also seeing a close to 18% reduction in our robberies. We have 4 less robberies this year as compared to last year. We're seeing a 22% reduction in our burglaries. So we're down 20 burglaries from where we were at last year, precinct-wide. We're also seeing a 2% reduction in larcenies. And one of our biggest reductions for the year is our motor vehicle thefts. We're down over 40% in our motor vehicle thefts. Last year at this time, we had 138, and we're at 82 this year. So we have 56 less than last year. So how are we doing it? Partnerships with all of you. We appreciate all the feedback we get, information that is shared with us. And it's also the hard work of our 11th precinct officers and our neighborhood police officers as well. So each day we're directing our officers to our hotspot areas where we're seeing crime trends, and we're directing those patrols to those areas. We also have dedicated traffic enforcement officers that we put out when we hear complaints in certain areas for speeding or drag racing. We put them in those areas to address that. And we also ask help from our citywide traffic enforcement unit. So they come in as well. They have a lot of different traffic officers and they assist us. We also have plainclothes special operations officers. So each week they're doing regular operations to address different crime trends. So they'll go out there, either ticket and tow. They'll go out there to address prostitution with offer to engage operations. They'll go on warrant sweeps. They're doing search warrants. They're always doing different initiatives to make sure that we're continuing this downward trend with our crime. So that's kind of where we're at. The captain has a bigger presentation, but I just want to let you know some of our problematic spots. I'm hoping you're going to see some difference in the coming months. So one of the issue for us has been like John R. and McNichols in that particular quarter. So we're going to be putting a lot more resources down in that area to clean it up, not only for cleanup, but just enforcement. We actually did shut down the gas station today that was on the corner of that location for a period of time until they start cleaning up their act over there. So we're going to continue to look at businesses and make sure that they're doing everything they need to do, and we're going to be holding those individuals accountable. So look for that. Also up near John R. and East State Fair 7 Mile, we've been getting some complaints of speeding along State Fair and some of those areas. So we're going to make sure that our traffic officers are out there going forward. So what I encourage you to do is, if you have different issues, make sure that you reach out to your neighborhood police officer. Make sure you're calling up here to the precinct, let myself or the captain know what's going on. And also there's an app out there called Improve Detroit, which is the C-Click Fix. I don't know if you haven't heard about it yet, just get with one of the NPOs during a break, they'll tell you about it. But that's a place for you to go on. And if you have abandoned vehicles or tall grass or other blight that's in the area, you can go ahead and put that information in, and then we'll be responding and clearing that stuff up. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the captain. He's got a presentation, and I look forward to talking with you after. All right?
Okay, so what I did, I jumped the gun. I am going to have Chaplain Grady to at least bless us in. I was on the warpath. And, you know, I usually follow the agenda, but we got so many people here this evening, I did not focus. So Chaplain Grady is getting ready to pray us in.
Good evening, Commander Chambers and Captain Griffin and President Eason and all of you on the dais and all of you that are attending the meeting. Good evening. Let us pray. Most kind and gracious God, we thank you for this day, this moment, this hour. God, we thank you for all things decent and in order, oh God. We thank you for the 11th Precinct and its community, oh God. We thank you for those that love the city of Detroit and want to see it do well and see that it thrive. So God, all things that are presented on tonight, oh God, will be decent and in order, oh God, and will bring about beneficial to the precinct and the city as a whole. We thank you and we honor you in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
One last thing, I forgot to mention, community note, on the 19th of April, this month, we're gonna have our Easter Fun Fest. That's gonna be here at the precinct. So, there's gonna be a hunt for Easter eggs, candy bag giveaways, games, live music and snacks. That's gonna be for kids ages 2 to 12. Kids must be accompanied by an adult. So that's gonna be from 10 a.m. to 12:30. And then afterwards, the fun's gonna continue over to the Lasky Rec Center. That's at 13200 Fenelon, and that's gonna be from 1 to 5 p.m. And they're gonna have more Easter giveaways and events there. So I look forward to seeing you all on the 19th. Okay.
Okay, and I understand that the people that come to ours have a chance to win what, 10 bikes?
We got bikes here, so
Bikes.
so we get a chance. We were raffling off some bicycles
That to the kids or the grown
for the kids. Yeah.
Baby bikes.
Well, Ruby act like a kid.
Okay, so you know, Captain Griffin always does these wonderful presentations. I did ask him for tonight that if he could cut it short for us, just because I want to get Dr. Dudley. It's just for tonight, because I have to get Dr. Dudley on. So I want you guys to bear with us for tonight, okay?
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I think it's important that we get up every month and kind of report out to you because you are the community and we work for you. So I'm gonna speed through this tonight. As the commander stated, there are pretty much 9 metrics that we track crime on a daily basis. So we're gonna speed right through that. Commander already talked about criminal homicide, sexual assaults, non-fatal shootings, robberies, carjackings, burglaries, larceny, and motor vehicle theft. With regard to the response time, we'll continue to monitor that from the time that the call is made to the 911 section to it's relayed to police dispatch and the police respond to your home. You can see priority 1 runs 8 minutes, 51 seconds. So we're constantly driving that. As soon as people place 111 call to 911, it can seem like an eternity. And we know that every second counts. So we'll continue to drive that point with regard to the response time. Next slide. These are the priority 2 breakdowns. Those are kind of the priority 2 other runs, kind of like loud music, dog barking, those types of police runs that are non-violent type of police runs. So they're a little bit higher. Next slide. So for the year, the 11th Precinct has made 301 felony arrests, 132 misdemeanor arrests, felonies with regard to juvenile crimes, 16 misdemeanor juvenile crimes, we've arrested 3. To this date, traffic stops, we've made 2,871 traffic stops. So that's based on the complaints that you're making, talking about speeding in the neighborhoods, speeding and running stop signs and driving the wrong ways around school and dismissal and admission in the morning. So we're listening to every complaint that you make that affects the quality of life. And so we're doing our best to address those complaints. We've issued 5,104 tickets. We've investigated 11,270 people so far this year. With regard to vehicles, we recovered 114. We've impounded 371 vehicles. We've completed accident reports. We've completed 216 so far this year. And other vehicle investigated, 2,823. With regard to weapons that we've confiscated, long guns, 8, handguns, 43, knives, 0, others, 1. CCW arrests, we've made 18. With regard to those areas that are plagued with prostitution, we've conducted 6 OTE operations to address that. With regard to arrests for homicide and attempted murder, we've made 7. Narcotics, we've made 4. Robberies, we've made 2. Resisting individuals, we've made 6. Warrant arrests, we've made 102 warrant arrests. With regard to police runs, we've answered 6,244 police runs, and we've completed 2,432 police reports. The amount of surveillance hours that we've done so far this year has been 44. That's where we try to sit and for you not to notice us so that we can try to monitor the crime that's going on in the neighborhood. With regard to MDOC checks, we have an agent that is embedded with this precinct. We go out and monitor and do home checks on those individuals that have been released from prison and are living in the community. So we're monitoring that as well. Search warrants, we've executed 8. Next slide. Search warrants. This is a home, a search warrant that was executed outside the city. The individuals we were investigating had fired shots into a home on Albany Street. And so we executed a search warrant following up on this case and netted 3 firearms. This was one of the firearms recovered from that previous house. As you can see, this is an extended magazine. Usually that magazine typically would hold about 15 rounds, but in that case, probably about 25, 30 into a handgun. This is another one of the weapons recovered from that home. Next. This is a third weapon that was recovered from that home in connection with those shots fired into an occupied dwelling.
And were any of those licenses? Were any of your guns registered?
I don't know. I have to get you that after this. I have to look into that. This is another weapon. These are the types of weapons that the officers on the streets are coming in contact with that are out here on patrol. These, next slide. It's another firearm that officers recovered from an individual. Next. Here's another firearm that was recovered from another individual. And this is fully automatic rifle that the officers recovered from an individual. Another firearm. All these firearms are what these officers are coming in contact with. Here's another rifle. So as you can see, every day we signed up for this job. We put our lives on the line for the citizens. And these are some of the things that some of the weapon systems that we come in contact with. Some of the complaints with regard to blight, people call in and say parking semi trucks in the residential area. This is what it looked like before. This is what it looked like after. Next slide.
Yeah, after that.
We told it. Can't park a semi on a residential street. So we are listening to your complaints and your issues and doing our best to address them. Someone called and said that someone had skis parked in a residential neighborhood. Now you see what it looks like. Next slide. Next slide. This was an emergency order for a business that was closed. Next slide. This business was closed because it didn't meet city licensing regulations. And so the city closed it. That's pretty much all I have for tonight. Anybody have any questions or any additional concern? I'll be around to hear. Commissioner?
Good evening, Captain.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Captain, where are your hotspots located at in the 11th precinct? And not only where they're located at, what type of criminal activity take place in the hotspots?
So we've identified, and when you look at the map of the 11th precinct, it's broken down into what we call scout car areas, 12 scout car areas. Basically, we've identified this year scout car area 11-1, 11-2, 11-9. That 11-1 historically, that's in your north part of the precinct up at 8 Mile, historically has been known for narcotics and aggravated and felonious type incidents and shootings. 11-2's area, some of the same, and in some of these areas, 11-2, 11-9, they're plagued with burglaries. So those are the 3 out of the 12 scout car areas within the precinct that we're focusing on this year, based on the statistics of crimes.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, Judge.
Yeah, I just wanted to know, you mentioned about 100 some odd misdemeanor arrests that you made. What type of misdemeanors are they getting arrested on?
So larcenies, domestic violence, assaultive type misdemeanor crimes, primarily. Unfortunately, the dollar stores that are in our neighborhoods are plagued. People just walk in and help themselves shopping and just walk out with baskets, laundry baskets full of whatever merchandise they want. And so that creates a problem. We've started a meeting with corporate to try to see if we can come up with strategies to address, because those stores provide services for our community. I mean, so if those stores were to close up, where would that leave the community? So it's important, and it's incumbent upon the police department and the community. If you know someone that is in the community that is going and stealing these items and then coming out and trying to sell them to you, whether it's detergent or whether it's some other form of toilet paper, please call us and report that so that we can track them down, because they do nothing but break down, the corporate partnership between the city and these businesses that provide services for our community. So we work together as a team, the police department and the community. We can't do it. One entity can't do it alone.
That's when I go up there and see a car, I'd be glad a car get this, because y'all would get around.
Yeah. So that's been another one of our focuses as well.
And I know I'm safe when I go in.
All right, that's all I have. I'll be around if anyone has anything further. I'll be around for the remaining of the meeting.
Okay, I have Judge Perkins and Attorney Perkins. And I also have Mr. Martin. He's usually on Zoom, but Mr. Martin is here with us tonight. And you can come up as well, Mr. Martin, because we always see you on screen, but we get to see you live now. I'm loving this.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. Gentlemen. Here, yeah.
Thank you, President, and thank you, 11th Precinct, Commander Captain. My name is Judge Sean B. Perkins. I'm your 36th District Court Judge. My mantra is I bring the court to the community in the classroom. We talked about that last time, just in case anybody didn't hear. I'm going to be very brief. I handle the last names G-L-O. I did open my courtroom up for anybody that has any relatives, friends, family, or anybody that's dealing with license issues or misdemeanor issues. And I got one person. And this one person I did get had a litany of driving. He was nervous about coming in, but he came in. We haven't got him back on the road legally yet, but we got all his warrants cleared up and everything. So I just encourage everybody to come on in. I know this person is now committed because his apprehension was that he was going to be locked up or something like that. But that wasn't the case. We want to get everybody back on the road legally. We believe that's going to help the officers here on those traffic tickets, because once they have that license, we feel that they're going to value that and they're going to start acting accordingly. And so that person, we're working with that person now. So I just want to encourage everybody to let people know that they can Zoom in my courtroom at any time. The Zoom ID is 360-434-0000.
Don't worry about it, because what you gonna do, you gonna send me that, and I'm gonna make sure you all get it. Don't even go there, I'll send it out to you guys.
I'm Sean B. Perkins. Yeah, SEANPERKINS, and I'm your 36th District Court traffic judge. And we try to stay out here. Mr. Martin, make sure that we are stay connected with the community, along with our Chief Judge, William McConaughey. So I'll just give you that. I'll leave you with that.
And send me an email, and I'll make sure they get it with your Zoom ID.
And my Zoom ID is Zoom ID 360-434-0000. Miss Mathis is my clerk. Her number right next to mine is 313-965-2402. Thank you for your time. Thank you, President.
Thank you. You're up next, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Todd Russell Perkins. That's my, he's younger than me, but I call him my big brother because he has gone on to do some lofty things, and I'm very proud of him. My whole family's proud of him. Where you can catch him in the supermarket, it's usually younger kids that affects with driving, and that leads into traffic stops. That leads into arrests, which they don't want to do. But like the captain said, it's quality of life issues, and that's how we get started. But you can see him in the grocery store. He'll tell you to sign on on his courtroom and get those warrants lifted, and it's a wonderful thing he does. As myself, I'm a lawyer, and I am a candidate for mayor, but I can't talk about that here. But I can talk about that out on the street. Anybody who wants to listen, what I do want to propose, and I do want to send to your president, is I have created some time ago, myself and Mildred Gaddis, we created something called Perkins Rules on Police Stops. It's props. And what it is that it talks about young people or anybody, their interaction with police. Because one thing that one of the most dangerous things for police to do statistically are traffic stops and domestic violence arrests. And I know that because I know these individuals for years, all of these individuals, and I said 11th Precinct, cream rises to the top, you got the best.
Yeah.
And they are the best. We've been at it about 30 years, 28 years. And so I've known them and know them personally. And again, you do have the best, but I do want to share that with you. I'd like to get that in every young person's hand. I'll send you an electronic one that they can use. And if you have a complaint, you can call us and we'll help you write the complaint because they want to hear about it. If somebody's treated inappropriately by police, these are the executives of the police department that want to hear about those things because it's just like if you have complaints in the legal field, lawyers want to know because we want to do a better service to the community. So I thank you for the opportunity to talk, and I'll wait for you all in the lobby.
And don't forget to make sure Mr. Martin, so that you can send me that information. I want to share, make sure the community gets it as well. Do you tell me? Get on.
I'm sorry. You do much.
My tears. Thank you. Mr. Martin, at least introduce yourself.
You see, I'm real quiet. I don't want to get in trouble. For all of you who don't know, my name is Marlon Martin. I've been Chief Judge Bill McConaughey's office down at 36th District Court. I'm usually on the television. So I told Kim I would hear you. And you hear me. Marlon Martin, 36th District Court. And Chief Judge Bill McConaughey's office.
Yeah.
What we try to do is bring the court to the community. I try to bring judges to the various community organizations to answer questions, for you to ask questions, and to resolve issues if you have any with the 36th District Court. Kim knows I will bug her in a minute, and if you have any questions for me, you can go to Kim. She has all my information, and I'll be willing to help you in any way that I possibly can. So with that being said,
Very good resource. Let me let you know that right off the rip. He's a very good resource.
I need that number.
We will talk. I got you.
I got some.
You can leave your name again? Martin. Mr. Martin. You leave him. Oh, sure. Look at that.
Okay,
I don't even need one. I got speed dial, so.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, we have G Fisher Construction Company. If you guys want to come up. I don't have that many left, so don't y'all beat me up when I run out. Not my fault. I got one more. Let me make a copy. I'm gonna make a copy of one. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it. We'll make more copies for you guys. I get yours back.
Hello, everybody. Again, this is our return visit. My name is Valerie Weatherly. I took my jacket off, honestly, because I sincerely got really warm hearing about all of what this 11th precinct has been doing. I really did. I was so happy for, so happy for all of you knowing how hard all of, Commander, all of your team works. And it takes you and your team to make it work. And our team here, I'm a development consultant. Scott and I came to visit you last year here at the meeting when there were some issues that came up, and he'll tell you how that turned out. So this is Scott Spencer and Jim Antos, a part of G Fisher Construction. I'm an arm of that team as a consultant, and we wanted to bring you some more good news that is going to be productive for individuals that you may know or that someone else may know as it relates to employment. It takes the team, Commander, and all of you, and where did Kim go? But anyway, as a part of the team, reaching out to Kim and NPO Officer Robinson, it's all of us to do what we do and what others do. So as a part of our team, I wanted to say to you, we appreciate this opportunity. We really do. So I'm going to be quiet because Scott and Jim have some very important information to share, and they also have some applications to pass out to you. Okay? Okay, whichever one.
I'll start,
Scott. Okay.
being here before. We were here because we're doing a new construction project over at Outer Drive in Connor, Benjamin Davis Veterans Village. And it's gonna be a community for 50 veterans. And we're really excited about it. And I want to thank you, 11th Precinct, for what they have done, because when we came here, we were starting to have some issues out there with some theft and break-in and vandalism. And as soon as we got here and presented this to the community and to the officers, things changed dramatically. You guys really stepped up. The effort was unbelievable, down to just a presence. So if they were doing reports, they would have them do them there, and we'd have a police presence. And word got out, and we have had 0 incidents since we came here. Thank you very much. And the good news we have to bring is at that same complex, we are looking for employment. We're looking for people to work for us. We're a construction company. We're looking to employ laborers, carpenters. We have other trades that are more technical, that if someone had the ability and skills, we could hook them up. But ourselves, we're looking for carpenters and laborers. And My specific job happens to be a Davis-Bacon job, which is a prevailing wage job, which is basically a private job, but we're paying union rates to the people that we employ. So it's a great opportunity for people looking to get a nice jump, a nice start, and we would have training and we could put them to work immediately. So I'm gonna let Jim speak as well, but we have applications to pass out. We'll leave our information to people after this, you can pass that on to
Will you
us.
guys be hanging around for a little bit if they have any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So that's what I've got with my job, and we've got other projects down there that Jim's gonna talk about as well.
Project manager for G Fisher, and the two projects I'm involved with is Peterborough, downtown on Peterborough in Woodward. And then also Birchmeyer Manor over on Wyoming, and I think Oakwood is the closest cross street that's familiar to everyone. And these projects are just getting underway, so certainly would welcome local folks to fill out applications or send anybody they may know that it, could be a laborer, or carpenter, or work in any capacity on the job, because it's good for us, it's good for the city. We're always looking for long-term employment folks that want to work. So we've got business cards, a lot of those we can leave behind. We only have the 9 or 10 applications, but they can certainly use the business cards to get a hold of us, or use the website, or call the office. We can email it.
Yeah. And also for, when we talk about trainees, there may be individuals who are already, who were in the construction trade, okay? But now they're not working at all. So any of those individuals would also be, we would want them, if they have experience, that's great. So I didn't want you, I know, I'm calling on you. Oh. So I didn't want anyone to say that it had to be a person who had no experience. If they have experience, yeah. If they don't have any experience, this is an opportunity. They'll get it through G Fisher. And let me say, this is really, really important too. We don't just build in a community and then walk away. We don't do that. We are very, very committed to what we do and to the communities that we represent wherever we are building. So we don't come into your area, say hi, bye, and then we're gone. That's why we're back here today. So I really wanted you to know how sincere we are. Yes, ma'am.
My question is,
Yes, speak up, please.
are you a part of the GDYT where you going for you? Will you be doing in the summertime like you kind of thing?
Are we a part of that?
Well, no, because the GDYT tries to get jobs for you.
Okay, gotcha.
Or
18 or older.
What was that? Okay, so that's what I was.
They have to be adults.
Or older, yeah. They don't have a, that, they're not working.
We don't have a youth like.
No, they have to be 18 or older. And, someone else had a question.
We ran out of applications. Is there a way that we can scan out? Or hook up with you and okay.
Well,
Scott, you send an email to him and he'll pass them on.
okay, because I can scan them too, so it doesn't matter. I can scan them and then. Whatever they put it online. Can they put it online?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Officer Robinson said if anybody needs one, you can email them out. We'll scan one to him.
So I'll make sure you guys, whoever didn't get an application and you want one, I will make sure you get one. So you might already got one, but because you're gonna be in this blast email, you're gonna get another one, which means you can show love to somebody else. So that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna get it again and you can send it out.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah, where did you turn it in at? Where do you turn it in?
It would be a G Fisher Construction, one of the business cards. They'll pass it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Did you get the one of the bids?
No, I didn't get a bid.
They gone. They're gone. Yeah, they're.
When you put our off, like,
Well, the Davis Bacon job. Published wage rate, the government puts out, when it could be, depending if it's a low rise or a high rise, it'd be $25 for like a low rise, and a high rise, it's $40 some dollars for labor.
Oh, yeah. And if, for the non-Davis Bacon, as Jim just said, that's a federal requirement. So just to get another idea, the young lady just asked, you know, a non-Davis Bacon, job, the pay could be as low as $7.50, $12, $15. Davis Bacon, you want to say it loud, Jim?
Davis Bacon, yeah, those wage rates are more in line with what the union would pay. And we're bound by HUD's laws to pay those rates. Laborers could be $25 on like a low rise setting, like Sojourner. Or if it's a high rise, because of the, you know, it's more dangerous, it could be upwards of $40 some an hour for labor. And
Exactly. So they,
carpenters are all pretty comparable to that, right?
yeah, they get paid very well. I used to work for HUD. I retired supposedly. I don't know how I got in this industry now. But we were very hard as HUD employees on contractors who tried not to pay their workers Davis Bacon rates. And I can personally tell you, there were a number of them that were suspended from doing work within HUD. So, are there any other questions?
You have to have a high school diploma.
No, not necessarily. No, we're open to anybody. Yeah.
Then I have questions for you all afterwards, because I got somebody that you said.
Okay.
That's
Well, we're, yeah.
yeah, and let me, this just came to my spirit and I have to listen to it. I really do. Someone may have been incarcerated, had an bad experience. Please don't let that person think they cannot apply. Please, because everyone deserves another chance. Okay, so please, think positive. Know that they have to be honest about whatever if necessary, because
We do practice.
they do that.
Honesty is hard.
So be honest,
Right.
but don't let any male or female think that they cannot apply because okay, any other questions? Thank you, I'm sorry.
Drug test.
We don't specifically.
No, we don't.
We don't. I'm sure there are companies that do, but we don't.
I'm telling y'all no.
And her question was drug testing. Do we do drug testing? Our company does not.
What's your policy done?
We'll know within a week whether we should. So. A lot of times those discretion show up on the. background check.
Yeah, right. So again, I'm Valerie Weatherly. You have our team. We've got Scott, we've got Jim.
I've been with Chief for 42 years. We built Sojourner Truth. That's all.
I've been about 25 myself, so.
And Benjamin Davis, Veterans Village, named after who? Brigadier General Benjamin O. Davis, the very first Black Brigadier General in the U.S. Army, and his son, Junior, the first or second, because I've had two readings on it. Benjamin Junior, the first Black general in the U.S. Air Force. So it's going to be completed around July-ish of this year for homeless veterans. So we thank you for helping us to look out. Thank you. Okay. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Dr. Douglas.
Yes, ma'am.
I gotta get you up because I know, I don't want you to come and get me now. Y'all talking about somebody in the chair, I'm scared of Dr. Douglas.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. I ain't playing with Dr. Douglas.
Who needs to sign?
Did everybody sign?
All right, at your places, but where you sat down, you have this sheet.
Yeah.
If you would take it out and start filling it out. If you need a pen or pencil, just let me know. Anybody who pays due, if you want to raise your hand, we'll give you a ticket before we start. And we got the list, so don't laugh. I do. I'm gonna do those. Don't let them fake out. And we're gonna do the 50-50 raffle, and we're also gonna raffle off baseball tickets tonight as well. Okay. That's Leon, though, I don't get into that, because I think. Once you finish filling that up, raise it up and I'll collect it. You didn't get one? No, wow. Thank you. Fill that out. And don't worry if you don't know the answer, put your name on it. If you finished it, raise it up and I'll collect it. Okay. All right, and make sure everybody signed in.
Thank you too.
You sure can.
Yeah.
Don't worry now, if you don't, it's over here. Right?
What you need? Oh, okay. Leon. Leon. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's, I'm not gonna do
Okay, look, I got 3 tickets left.
Right
So
here,
Miss Wimberly,
here.
Lee Galloway,
Don't worry, if you don't know the answer, that's okay.
I already gave one. Yeah, gave her the first. All right. All right, Ms. Green, you got tickets. Lockett. For you? Galloway, okay. I give you a ticket? Go. All right. Look, say something. Oh, man. Yeah.
Thanks very much. You got it. That was pretty good. Yeah, I did the same. All right, thank you very much. At this rate, I'm getting the
I'm just guessing.
That's all right. That's all.
How many you got already? Yeah, I did 2 weeks ago. I got you.
That's right. There you go. I think you did too, right? That's right. Did mine. I didn't. How many, just show of hands, how many of you have a first aid kit at home? I do. How many know where it is? Most of you who have one know where it is. When's the last time you used it?
Somebody says Saturday. But we know where it is, right? That's exactly what this is. It's a Narcan training. I'm gonna give you a kit. When you walk out of here, after you finish all the things I asked you to do, you're gonna walk out of here with a kit that looks like. And I want you to put it near your first aid kit, or you can keep it in your car. If you buy a new person, put it in your new purse. You know, or fanny pack, whatever you want to do. The reason why we came and we said we want to do this for the community, because this is a way to prevent someone from dying from an opioid overdose. All right? And it's really important that we make sure that this happens. I train every police at every police precinct on all of the platoons, 5:30 in the morning till 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, because it's important. And we also wanted to make sure that our community was also trained. My name is Dr. Renee Dudley, and I am the president and CEO of a nonprofit that covers the east side of Detroit called the Youth Connect. And that one of the things that we were asked to do was also to provide what was called Narcan training or harm reduction, a way in which we can save a life, and to make sure that people who may have a substance use issue that is associated with an opioid, they have the opportunity to live and have the opportunity to say when they're ready, they can get treatment and help. All right, so we're gonna start, he left. We're gonna start with this, and this is who I am. And so we've been providing this training, as I said, for first responders. All of you are first responders. If you come across a situation where somebody needs your help, you're the first to respond. And we look at you in that way. Community members, churches, you. If you have a church that you want us to come to and provide Narcan training, all you have to do is call Ken. You know, just give me a call. All right, just give us a call, and we will come to your church. We will come to where you are. If you have youth that are 14 years of age and older that you want us to train, we will train them as well. To the point, we trained our explorers here at the 11th Precinct. One of our young ladies, one of our explorers, was responsible for saving 2 lives. All right, so I'm telling you, our parents, individuals, as I said, all you have to do is ask. Next slide, please. And so our objective is that we're going to talk to you about the difference between prescription and non-prescription opioids. We're going to talk about the rise of opioid-related deaths, naloxone and its application. We're going to tell you how to use this. We're going to show you how to use it so that if you ever get into that situation, you'll know what to do. And it's simple. I'll tell you about when I first got trained, it wasn't happy. So the next one. Nationally, there were over 44,534 motor vehicle traffic accidents in the United States. 48,000 firearm deaths in 2022. More than 107,000 Americans died from a drug overdose or poisoning. And that's across all drugs. So more people are dying from a drug overdose than they're dying from traffic accidents or firearms. So that's why it's important for our community to be on the front line to say, how can we save a life? Next slide. So what are opioids? Has anybody ever had a painkiller? Yeah. All right, raise your hand. Got both. Okay, what did you have? Can't even remember what you had. Oxycodone. Okay, think about it. Some codeine in it. That's it. Codeine, what you have? Oxycodone, morphine. Okay, morphine. Who else had their hand up? What you have? Oxycontin. One more person, what you have? Oxycontin. Did they work? Yes, sir. Yeah. They do what they are intended to do. I don't want anybody to run out of this room saying, oh my God, I'm never going to take another opioid again. What I want you to be is a partner with your healthcare professional. I want you to ask the questions. You heard the commercial. Yeah. Take this one dose. It can cause blindness, constipation, and death. It's that death thing that I want you to pay attention to. All right. And you want to know who, what, when, where, how much, how long. And if I have this side effect, what do I do? All right. So one, you want to partner with your healthcare professional. You want to make sure that the medication that you're getting is coming directly from a bona fide pharmacist. Next one. Okay, it's a pop. Next. So prescription opioids, what opioids are, they manage pain. They manage severe and they manage, moderate to severe pain. They include drugs like some of the ones that you were saying, codeine, hydrocodone, oxycodone, codeine, and morphine. but they do have risk factors associated even with the prescription. And those risk factors include misuse, addiction, overdose, and death. And so one of the things they're chemically related, and you have opioid receptors in your brain and in your nervous system. The opioid sits on those receptors and they do what they're intended to do. They manage the pain. All right, and so it's really important to understand they also have a side effect of euphoria. Some of us, they put you to sleep. But the whole point is they do what they're intended to, take it as prescribed, but there are also challenges even if you take it as prescribed. Next slide.
You know, I wouldn't take mine unless I really needed it, because I got on the phone, and I tried to even say,
Which way, up or down? All right, let's go back here. Examples of common opioids: heroin. Heroin is an opioid. Morphine, codeine, methadone, oxycodone or oxycontin or Percocet, hydrocodone such as Vicodin or Narco, fentanyl, hydromorphine, such as Dilaudid. These are all common opioids. And the thing that's really important, heroin is an opioid. And so one of the things that we know is that overdose deaths involving opioids, the most common ones that are overdose deaths involved with prescription opioids include methadone, hydrocodone such as Oxycontin, or hydrocodone such as Vicodin. Those are the ones that we're seeing associated with overdoses and deaths. Between 1999 and 2019, opioid-related deaths in adult ages 55 and older increased almost 2,000%. Now remember, if I got a prescription for the opioid, it was technically used to manage pain. Why do you think that is a population of seniors that have involved in the overdose deaths? If I got a prescription, what did I get it for? Pain. All right. So as we get older, things begin to fall apart. Yeah. All right. So whether I need a knee replacement or a hip replacement or anything like that, one of the things that may happen or come with that is a prescription for a painkiller. We know that this is also true. And the thing that's really kind of concerned when we talked about overdose deaths, I wanted to say what was happening in my community, what was happening in Detroit. We saw the exact same thing. The thing that is curious about this, we had 184 overdose deaths in 2023 for the whole year on ages 55 and older, predominantly among African-American men. Our African-American men were dying at a higher rate than anyone else. So one of the things I'm on a mission to do, I want to train 1,000 Black men. So the survey that you get after this is going to ask you your gender. I'm on my way to 1,000. Women, we also make sure that we're there to make sure that we can save lives. And so some of the reasons that we talked about that why we're dying or why we're taking opioids is because they're prescribed for chronic conditions such as arthritis or cancer. Delay in medical procedures. We know that at 55, if I need a knee replacement, my doctor may want me to wait. And he may make me wait 5 years because that knee's got to last me. They don't want to bring me back at 80 to do a knee replacement. So part of the challenge is what do I do in the meantime to manage the pain? And what has happened is that I got a prescription for an opioid and I may have been on it for 5 years. So those are some of the challenges that we're talking about. Okay, I got to ask this. Have you ever walked into a room and forgot why you came?
Yeah.
Okay, show of hands. Who's done that? Okay, good. I thought it was good. All right, but the other thing, memory. Ability to metabolize opioids decrease with age. Ageism. The elderly do not fit our stereotype of a drug user. We do not look at grandma as a drug user. And part of the challenge is our own stereotypes, our own perception may get in our way of helping. Health disparities. We know that there are health disparities. We know that when some of African-American males, Hispanic, etc., go into a doctor's office, they may get a different type of approach than if it was their counterpart. We see this in women medicine. We see this among birth. All right, African American women and Hispanic women have a higher chance of dying in childbirth than their white counterparts, holding everything constant. Their age, their gender, their race, they're holding everything constant, their economic status, and who they are. So it's exactly the same as the other person who is not African American that comes in. She will die at a higher rate than her Caucasian counterpart. So opioid addiction does not discriminate, however. Anyone can become addicted to an opioid, even if it's taken as prescribed. People have become addicted to their medication, even if it was taken as it was prescribed. So due to the opioid crisis, they came out with new prescribing guidelines. And they saying, hey, we need to make sure that we cut back on how many pills that we're prescribing and how often we're prescribing them. But guess what? I used to be able to get a 90-day supply of opioids in the mail delivered to my house. But I have been using these for 4 years because I'm waiting for that knee replacement. What do I do in the meantime? What do I do when I no longer have access to the medication that was out there? 2016 updates came with a serious backlash, and that backlash saw severe chronic pain, long-lasting prescriptions rapidly reduced or cut off. I needed to look for an alternative. I had to find out what should I do, how could I do it, and how could I make sure. So let's make an assumption that every single one of you are my children. Every single one of you are my children. And then I come to my children and I know that you had those painkillers. And that one of the challenges I had is that I come to you. What's your name? Margaret. I got so many kids, I can't keep that name. I come to Margaret here and I said, Margaret, remember that time? You know, I'm going to the doctor next week and I ran out of my pills. Would you share your pills with me? I'm not supposed to share my medication with you. I am your mother. Yes, mommy. All right, any other, show of hands, who would help the mother out? Show of hands high. Let me get in front of them and see all these hands raised. These are the ones that would help the mother out. These are all my drug dealing children. All my drug dealing children. All right, it's okay. Because the answer is no. No, don't do it again. The police are here. I'm trying to protect you. All right. The reason is you don't know what I'm on. You don't know how much I need. You don't know what other medication I may have. So the answer is always no. But your work is to help them get access to resources, to take them to a medical facility, to do something else. But you never, ever, ever want to share your medication. Where do you keep your medications? In my bedroom. In bedroom. And are they locked up? Put them in the bathroom. Well, you're in the bedroom. I know where they are now. I know where they are now. If I'm your child, I know where they are. So typically, one of the things that we do know is approximately 50% of people who misuse prescription pain medicines get them from a friend or a family member. I had all my children that shared theirs with me, but those that didn't want, who was that that said, no, I'm not going to share over here. One of the challenges is if I know where she keeps her medication, I can get it. How many of that took your meds and you know I took them? When you get to the end, you might have a certain amount of. That's right, but you won't know till you get to the end. I'm only gonna take 1 or 2 at a time. So part of the challenge is that especially if we know that there's somebody that may have some issue, you need to make sure that they are locked up and out of the way. All right, before you get one of those things that have a lock with a combination on it. But I always forget the combination, so that don't help. So one of the things I can do, somebody said the street pharmacist. So one of the things I can do is to say, since my kid, what's your name again? Margaret went and told all my kids, don't be giving her no medication. We're trying to help mother out. And they all said, the whole room said amen. They didn't do it. So one of the things I could do is to go to the street pharmacist that you told me about. My uncle, friends, brothers, cousins, friends said that they could help me out. And so what if, this is a slide I got from the DEA. If I needed to go on the street, buy 1 pill of Percocet, 30 milligrams, everybody asked me what pill, how much, 30 milligrams Percocet According to the DEA, how many of you think I could buy that one pill for $5 to $10?
No.
Okay, how about 15 to 25
No.
per pill? Raise your hand. Don't just say no. How about $30 to $80 per pill? Wow. Some of you are not committed, but the real answer is $30 to $80 per pill. If you do not go change your profession, you got police officers. So there's an alternative, especially with regard to the opioids. The alternative I told you was heroin. Heroin is an opioid. It does what the opioids do. It will manage pain. Can anybody read this word right here? Can you see that? What's it say? Oh, up close. This one, no, this one right here. Bear. Bear. Anybody hear bear?
Oh, yeah.
What did you hear about bear? What do you know about bear? Bear aspirin. All right, before World War II, bear aspirin. Bear said that they had two research and development ideas. One was aspirin and one was heroin. They chose heroin. They marketed heroin to the general public. They sent out flyers, gave away free samples because it was not. So it was easy, you know, it wasn't coming through a pharmacist or anything like that. They especially marketed for coughs, colds, congestion, but guess what else? They marketed for women for irritability. They translated into Spanish and marketed for children. So heroin then became that drug of choice. When I went to Washington, D.C. for the DEA Family Summit, and I went to their museum. This bottle was there in the museum. And this bottle was one that was used as part of the medical kits for the soldiers. So when those soldiers were coming back from overseas, one of the challenges that they became addicted to heroin. So then we see an upgrade in heroin in our communities. Who were the soldiers? They were people that were the regular folks coming from the community. Huge upgrades of heroin addiction. Government had to step in and say, cease and desist. You can no longer push this heroin out into the public. And Bear said, that's okay, we go to aspirin. And they build up their wealth on aspirin. So what is heroin? It is an opioid, but it is an illegal drug. It is a semi-synthetic and a highly, highly addictive opioid. Typically it's injected, but it can also be smoked and snorted. So the use of heroin now began to rise because if I could no longer get access to some of the medication that I used to have, and that same medication I can get the same relief if I had heroin, then we saw a rise in heroin use in our communities. We saw more and more heroin use in our communities. The past misuse of prescription opioids is the strongest risk factor for starting heroin use. If I can no longer have access and I'm still in that same pain because I still don't have that knee replacement. And this indicates that widespread opioid exposure and increasing rates of opioid addiction have played a major role in the growth of heroin in our communities. So, how much do you think I can get heroin on the streets for, according to the DEA? How many? Show of hands, $5 to $10. Only got one in the back. Got two going for $3. 4. All right, got 4. How many? 15 to 25. 15 to 25. I got 4 or 5. How many for 30 to 80? I can get a dime bag or a nickel bag. All right. So it was cheaper and it was throughout our communities. So heroin is a much cheaper. I'm not here. Unfortunately, it gets worse. And it gets worse because of a drug called fentanyl. Fentanyl is a synthetic, man-made opioid, 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. And there's 2 types of, I'm getting
And he passed out. I drove past, it was April 1st. April 1st, yeah, it was April 1st, about 4 or 5 years ago. And when me and my brother drove past, oh Lord, I got so that's not my bed. And
you dead?
yes, they sprayed my life.
All right, it's dangerous. Fentanyl is 100 times more potent than morphine. There's 2 types of fentanyl. There's pharmaceutical fentanyl, prescribed and managed by the physician. My mom was in hospice and they gave her fentanyl drip as she moved through her transition. My dad had his toes amputated and they gave him a fentanyl patch. that help with the pain. So one, there are legitimate uses as long as you get it from a legitimate source and you ask the question. I want you to always to be a partner in your own healthcare. Non-pharmaceutical fentanyl is often mixed with heroin and or cocaine and pressed into those little pills that people saying, I'm gonna get it over the internet with, and in most cases without the user's knowledge. They do not know that fentanyl is in those pills. And so those are some of the concerns that we have. The other thing that we are also looking at is a drug that I thought was just not here, carfentanil, or not here on the streets. I did a training for the zoo, and they said, oh yeah, we have carfentanil, because typically it's used for large animals. All right, so if you work at the zoo and your job was to clean the lion's tooth, you want that bad boy to be out before you stick your hands in there.
Right.
All right. So one of the things that they said, we have it, but it's under severe lock and key. The DEA, this is another slide I can never. Can everybody see this? If this was heroin, this is the amount of heroin that if you ingested it, it could kill you. If this was fentanyl, look at this. This is the amount of fentanyl that if you ingested it, it could kill you. This is carfentanil. You can even see it. This is the amount of carfentanil that if you ingested it, it could kill you. So let's bring this home. What you have in front of you also, if you didn't sit on it, is a sweet low pack and a black card. And don't be putting it in your bag and take away. Take it out. What I want you to do very carefully is to open up that sweet low packet and pour it onto that black card. Just like this. I want you to do it very carefully. Oh, y'all didn't get one? We got two. I'm putting it in no, not yet. No. Oh, you'll take a picture. Everybody got it? I just look at pour it out of the car. Just look at the person next to you. That's all you need to do. All right. If you pour it out on the car, just look at somebody that's next to you. Just did it. All right. And don't be cutting my sweet loaf. Every single one. This is just an example. Look at that. For the most part, if you don't have, that's okay. But just look at somebody else. If you did that, and this was fentanyl, it could be deadly. Wow. All right. Let me tell you how deadly it is. 2 milligrams of fentanyl is a potentially lethal dose. What you have in front of you is what's called a gram. That is enough to kill 500 people. What you alone have in front of you is enough to kill 500 people. All right? Yes, ma'am.
What I want to say, they was already said it to my grandson is DPD, and they could send me and my daughter and all of us emails where they were saying, do not sniff nothing, but they be trying to get you smell perfume. Oh, yeah, not perfume, and then it would knock you out, and then, rape you and took all your stuff. So, if anybody try to smell perfume, ladies,
that's not in the department store, all right? So part of what I want you to understand is how deadly this drug is. Donna's gonna come by with a trash can, and what you wanna do is just make sure you just pour all that sweet loaf into the trash can and not on the floor, all right? One of the things we also know, remember, I told you that one of the challenges that we have right now is that people are going online trying to get pills. What's the number one way in which drugs are getting to our homes? Number one way that a drug is getting into your home. Yes, the internet, UPS or the US mail. All right, folks are going on the internet and they have, the different emojis. These are all the emojis for oxycodone.
see for Xanax, Percocet, and Adderall. They're going online and they're putting the emojis in. And what happens if the drug dealers also have emojis that you can connect with? You connect, Venmo me, they send it to you. All right. The challenge is when you're getting the stuff that is not a prescription drug, you have no idea how much fentanyl could be in the pill. The DEA said 7 out of the 10 pills that they have confiscated contained a lethal dose of fentanyl. Anybody here is a good chocolate chip cookie maker? I mean, like, it's really good. Don't raise your hand if you just do yogurt. Who's a really good chocolate chip? What's your name? Carolyn. Carolyn can make some bona fide chocolate chip cookies. Now, in your chocolate chip cookies, does every cookie come out with the same number of chocolate chips? No. Do you have some that have the ooey gooey middle where all the chips combine? Those are the good ones. That's exactly what happens when we're talking about these manufactured pills. If you think about chocolate chip cookies, so you never ever want to take any pill that you did not get directly from a pharmacy, not from your friends, not from your family, and especially not on the internet. Can they put that in chocolate chip cookies? For what? Not if you make it, no. Then you have to be careful of where you eat and who you eat with. There are edibles, and that is some of the things that are being sold. Facts about an overdose. Overdoses are most common among those who've been using for 5 to 10 years. That's what we used to say until fentanyl came on the streets. Because one of the challenges is that a lethal dose is 2 milligrams and it can result in somebody's death. Many fatal opioid overdoses can be prevented. Most overdoses are not instantaneous. All right, who else can I picked on? Let me go over here. I'll pick on you. What's your name? Pierre. Pierre. Derek, you and I are doing drugs together. And if I overdose, you have 1 to 3 hours to save my life. And that's all you have. Because it will take 1 to 3 hours for me to die, for my lungs to stop breathing. So what we want to do at all times, that's why we have a Narcan, that's why you have a phone. What you want to do at all times is to call 911 and administer them naloxone. I had a patient who came to me in depression because his cousin and his brother died in an old abandoned house where they were doing drugs that they thought was heroin. It was laced with fentanyl. A third person was there. He saw them to begin to have difficulty breathing and he got up and left. So what we want to do, no matter what the situation is to call for help. Yeah. Call 911 and just say, hey, I'm in this abandoned house on Mackinac Drive and somebody is overdosing. So at least 911 can get there because within 1 to 3 hours, I am going to be dead if I have a lethal dose. That sounds like somebody that my son's people have it too, like 3 different things. That's right. You got 1 to 3 hours to save a life. And that's why naloxone is so very important. And everybody that has it can be in the position to save a life. Most overdoses, as I said, are not instantaneous. Most overdoses are witnessed by a friend or a family member, or a friend or a family member know that a person may be having an issue with the drugs. All right, we know. How many of you have an Uncle John or Aunt Nancy, no matter what family you have, they come in drunk? Show of hands. If it's you, you keep your hand down. We know who they are, right? So you have several options, not to invite them, or the good stuff, or help them. All the time when you are ready. My sister is an alcoholic. On March 25th, she celebrated the 5th, what she said, what was it? 25 years of being 25 years of being cool. I hospitalized my sister 3 times, but it was when she was ready. But that doesn't take my responsibility away. It says that I need to be there to provide the resources and the access to help. And when she's ready, now she's sober. All right? So you can save a life. And I want you to be prepared for saving a life. Since 2000, there have been a number of programs that show you don't need any intensive medical treatment in order to save a life. All you need to do is to know how to push a button, and you'll be able to save a life using Narcan.
What is naloxone? What is a Narcan that I am going to give you? What it is that, remember I told you you have those opioid receptors in your brain and in your nervous system? One of the things that it does is that the naloxone comes in, and if I'm in an overdose, it knocks the opioids off of those receptors and it forces me to breathe. It forces me to breathe, all right, to save my life. You know, we can pass those out if you want afterwards. So you gotta come to the table anyway and get that Narcan kit.
I'm gonna leave it. Oh, okay.
All right?
That's gonna work.
That's gonna work. All right? It takes effect. You can't get high off of it. You can't abuse it, but it may take up to 5 minutes to take effect. Up to 5 minutes to take effect. You have 2 doses in the kit. After 2 minutes, if they don't start breathing again, you give them another dose. Stays active for 30 to 90 minutes, depending on the metabolism, how long it's been, and how much I took. All right? Signs of an opioid overdose. How do I know if somebody is in an opioid overdose? I come on the scene and the person is disoriented or dizzy. I come on the scene and they may be nodding. I come on the scene and the breathing is slow or shallow. I come on the scene and you hear this strange snoring or gurgling sound. I come on the scene and their lips may be blue or purple. My fingernail beds and my toenail beds may be blue or purple or gray. I come on the scene. Now this is a normal pupil. Everybody look at me. Okay, look at me. That's a normal pupil. But if you see something like this looking back at you, you know that this person is in an opioid overdose. This is called pinpoint pupil. The person is experiencing what we call an opioid overdose. All right? So now you know that they may need help. Looks like something from The Walking Dead. All right? Opioid overdose. If you suspect an opioid overdose, you call 911. We even tell our officers, we give them a kit and they may have 4 doses between them. You call 911 and you make sure EMS is on the way. You only have 2 doses. I had officers who told me it's taken up to 7. All right, you call 911, you tell them what you suspect and you make sure that they're on the way. The other thing, if you have not taken a first aid class, take a first aid class. Because the first aid is Red Cross is gonna tell you is that you monitor that scene and make sure that scene is safe for you to proceed. You gotta make sure the scene is safe. If you come upon somebody who says there's a whole lot of fentanyl in that room, you know what I want you to do? I want you to back up out of there. I don't want you to come in. I want you to call 911 and tell them, I think there is fentanyl in this room, so that they can also come prepared. All right, we did training for the crime scene investigators, and that you heard of the little girl who was in the house, and downstairs her mother and 3 other people were dead or were passed out in the room. And when EMS got there, they had to come and have me because there was fentanyl in the room. Now, a lot of folks, oh, I'm afraid because if I look at it real hard, I can, overdose. No. Did anybody sort of taste the sweet and low when they poured it out in the back of your throat at all? No. All right. Have you ever had something where it was a strong odor and you could taste it? One of the challenges means it's gotten into your system. With fentanyl, looking at it or just touching it, it is not going to make you overdose or get you sick or high. Every single person just about in this room has stuck their hands in their face, rubbed their eyes, put their fingers in their mouth, and did anything like that. It's when you ingest it, is when it becomes a challenge. You want to wear a mask. I see a lot of masks in here, and I bet you everybody in this room have a mask somewhere. All right, you want to wear a mask. And in the kits we are going to give you, you will have a mask and you will have gloves. Put them on. This is how you would use the Narcan in the kits that we're going to give you.
Narcan nasal spray is an emergency treatment for a known or suspected opioid overdose. Narcan nasal spray is not a substitute for emergency medical care. As with any drug, you need to be aware of important safety information concerning its use. If you encounter someone who is unresponsive and you suspect an overdose, first shake their shoulders and shout their name.
Kevin.
Ask if he or she is okay.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear me?
Check for signs of an overdose. Seek emergency help right away. Narcan nasal spray is not a substitute for emergency medical care.
I'm with somebody who stopped breathing. I think they've had an overdose.
Administer Narcan nasal spray as quickly as possible if someone is unresponsive and an opioid overdose is suspected, even when in doubt, because prolonged respiratory depression may result in damage to the central nervous system. Lay the person on their back to receive a dose of Narcan nasal spray. Remove Narcan nasal spray from the box. Peel back the tab with the circle to open it. Remove and review the printed quick start guide inside the package. Hold the Narcan nasal spray with your thumb on the bottom of the plunger and your first and middle fingers on either side of the nozzle. Do not press the plunger to test or prime the device. If you do, you will waste all or part of the dose of medication. Tilt the person's head back and provide support under the neck with your hand. Gently insert the tip of the nozzle into one nostril until your fingers on either side of the nozzle are against the person's nose. Press the plunger firmly to give the full dose of Narcan nasal spray. Remove the device from the nostril after giving the dose. Move the person on their side after giving Narcan nasal spray. If possible, put their hands under their head and bend their upper leg forward. This helps prevent the person from rolling onto their stomach. This is known as the recovery position. Continue to watch the person closely. If they do not wake up or respond to your voice or touch, or if they do not seem to be breathing normally within 2 to 3 minutes, use a new Narcan nasal spray to give an additional dose in the other nostril. Acute opiate withdrawal symptoms may occur from use of Narcan nasal spray in patients who are opioid dependent. Symptoms include body aches, diarrhea, increased heart rate or tachycardia, fever, runny nose, sneezing, goosebumps, also known as piloerection, sweating, yawning, nausea or vomiting, nervousness, restlessness or irritability, shivering or trembling, abdominal cramps, weakness, and increased blood pressure. When the emergency is over, put the Narcan nasal spray back in its box and throw it away in a place that is away from the reach of children. In addition to watching this video, please read the quick start guide that comes with Narcan nasal spray before using it. Talk to a healthcare professional if you have any questions about how to administer Narcan nasal spray. Please read the indications and important safety information that follows. Store Narcan nasal spray at room temperature between 15 to 25 degrees centigrade. Do not freeze Narcan nasal spray. Keep Narcan nasal spray in the box until ready to use. Protect from light. Replace Narcan nasal spray before the expiration date on the box. Keep Narcan nasal spray and all medicines out of the reach of children.
Yes, ma'am. Is it a good idea to keep your kid in the car? Like in the summer, your car is really hot, in the winter, your car may get really cold. So one, they want to be just very careful of what the weather is. But one of the things I would tell you, if you have it and you have an emergency, use it. Okay. All right, better to have it, and just use it, but also be careful. Now, what we are learning is that one, the temperature may not affect the Narcan. All right, but once we get the definitive proof that it doesn't, I'll let you know. Okay. This is it, guys. This is it. All right. One of the things I'm excited about is that right now it may be able to be over the counter. I am going to give it to you for free. If you use it, I'll replace it for free. All right. If it expires, I will replace it for free. And in the kit you have, you'll have a scan code that will tell you what to do in order to get a replacement. All right, but it may ask you some questions, but I will make sure that you get the replacement for free while supplies last. All right. Don't prime it. Don't sit here and test it to see if it'll work. It will work. If you twist this monitor, all of it will come out. And you have wasted my Narcan, and what I have been giving you is about $114. I am not going to waste my Narcan. Only those that push the button. Okay. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. You say it back here because both are 15. Do not press this button until it goes in the nostril. All right? Because if you press this button, it will all come out. You hear me? Show of hands, how many people promise not to press the button before they put it in? No, thank you very much. All right, the thing that's important is that one, is very expensive, but two, you don't have as much, you need to save a life. You need to do everything that you can do to make sure that you do that. You wanna call 911, I think all my people here remember that's a phone, you may not know that's a phone. But that's it. Back in the day, that's what we used to have.
What is the limit on, the time limit on the Narcan? You said expired.
It's on the box. I think what you're gonna get is gonna expire in 2028. All right, so it's on the box and your package, and depending on, you know, what bag we pack, on the back of the Narcan thing, it'll tell you when it expires. So it's about a couple years before this batch will expire.
Okay, once you put it in the person's mouthful, are you pressing it just one time?
Just one time and hope and there and it'll all come out. Once you press it, and you can take it out.
So,
If they-
they're not responsible.
If they, well, what's gonna happen if you get into that situation, you're gonna get that, this don't go in the nose as best you can. If they're sitting up or laying down. The other thing is after 2 minutes and they're not responding, you do your second dose. All right, but you call 911, so they're on the way. All right, you've got to determine your circumstances, the best way, because there's a lot sewn in them. But this is what's called the recovery position. If you take first aid, it'll tell you how to do it. Go home, Google it, bring it up on your phone and practice it. It places the first aid. In here, we may not do good reception. And I'm at your church. And you know, you're the last one cleaning up, you and one other person cleaning up for the church for dinner. Everybody else is gone. You're down in the basement and I overdose. The problem is I can't get good reception to get it to call. I've called 911 and now I've got to go tell them where they are. So what you want to do, if you leave that person, you want to place them in what we call.
If they're unconscious or unresponsive, but breathing normally, put them on their side in the recovery position. This helps them to continue breathing normally by keeping their airway open and clear. For example, it stops the most common airway obstruction, their tongue, from falling back and blocking the movement of air. It also means that any vomit or fluid which comes back up can come out, rather than causing them to choke, which could happen if they're on their back.
To put your casualty into the recovery position, this is what to do. Kneel beside the casualty and get yourself in a comfortable position. Check the casualty's pockets and remove any bulky items. Remove any sharp rings, and if they're wearing glasses, take them off. Make sure that both the casualty's legs are straight. Place their arm nearest to you out at a right angle to their body, with the elbow bent and the palm facing upwards. Their arm can be placed straight out to the side if it can't be placed at a right angle. Take their other arm and place it across their chest and hold the back of their hand against their cheek nearest you. With your other hand, lift their far leg just above the knee. Pull it up until their foot is flat on the floor. Now you're ready to roll them onto their side. Keeping the casualty's hand pressed against their cheek, carefully pull on their bent knee to roll the casualty toward you onto their side. Now their top arm should be supporting their head and their bent leg should be on the floor to stop them from rolling over. Their top leg should be at a right angle to their body. Remove your hand from under theirs. Check the casualty's head is tilted back. This will keep their airway open and clear.
Once the casualty is in the recovery position, you should call for medical assistance if this hasn't already been done. Remember to recheck the casualty's breathing at regular intervals until medical help arrives. If it stops, you'll need to give them CPR. If the casualty has to be kept in the recovery position for more than 30 minutes, turn them onto their opposite side to relieve the pressure on their lower arm, unless their injuries prevent this.
So essentially, you can go home, you can Google it and practice it. If you have to leave anybody that is injured or hurt and they are in a position to be moved, you want to make sure they don't throw up and asphyxiate on their own vomit. All right, so you place them in that what's called the recovery position. If they're not responsive in 2 to 3 minutes, you administer your second dose. If you don't have a heartbeat, then you would do CPR. That's why I encourage you strongly, if you can take first aid for CPR and first aid, do so. The other thing is rescue breathing. That is a call you have to make. if you're gonna put your lips on somebody, all right? One of the things you'll also have in this kit is a mouth guard. So if you have to provide rescue breath, because remember, I've stopped breathing, you no longer have any more naloxone, and now I'm still not breathing, you may then resort to the rescue breathing. And one, again, you can go online and find out how to do it, but also first aid and CPR, we would encourage our partners to do. We want to prioritize saving a life. Many people may say, remember, he and I are doing drugs together. But he decided that he's gonna, he's running because he doesn't want to get arrested. But the police cannot arrest him if he was acting in good faith to save my life. And if he had personal drugs on him, that's not what they're going to see. That's not what they're going to arrest. They are not going to arrest him as long as that one, the Michigan Good Samaritan law says that drug possession charges against those that seek medical assistance for an overdose in certain circumstances. Now, if you got a kilo of cocaine in the bathroom, it's going down. I'm just writing it. And the law may saving the life the priority. What if I die anyway? What if you tried to save my life and I died? And then my family comes and sue you. They can't. There are no civil or criminal charges if I acted in good faith in order to save the life. This is Michigan's Good Samaritan law. Most states have a Good Samaritan law, but I realize they're different. So understand, if you move or go somewhere else and you want to help save a life, make sure you understand what the laws are there. Caution, administering naloxone to an opioid-dependent individual can cause withdrawal symptoms. You administer that naloxone and I come too, you have immediately eliminated my high. Now, I could be very upset about that. All right. Or I could be very scared if I see a bunch of cops standing over me and I may get up and run. The whole point is, one, you save a life, and that's the priority. And then two, one of the things that you want to do is encourage the person to go to 911. You want to ask them, go to the hospital. Because remember, it only stays, the naloxone stays active 30 to 90 minutes. And if I've got more opioids in my system and the naloxone wears off, I could go into another overdose. So what if the person is not experiencing an opioid overdose and you give them naloxone, will it hurt them? And the answer is no, it won't help. If the overdose is due to cocaine or meth, or anything other than an opioid, it will not hurt them. One of the things that we do know is polydrug use. She was saying that, some of the marijuana that could be laced with fentanyl or other drugs. The issue is it will not help anyone that is other than an opioid overdose. There's another drug that is scary as hell on the streets right now called xylazine, the zombie drug, or trank dope. One of the challenges with that, it does not respond to naloxone. It has a similar side effects as an opioid overdose. But the other thing that happens is it begins to eat away at the skin. All right, so you'll have these ulcers, and to the point where some folks who are addicted to long-term addiction, it results in an amputation. All right, so that's a drug that we know now is hitting our streets, and we're really scared about it. That's why you do not take any medication that you don't have from a doctor. Yes, sir.
Over last summer, there was a drug they didn't say it came to the community that would change the complexion of your hands or make it scale or something like that.
I'm not sure about that. I know what xylazine does is called ulcers. All right, to the point where it begins to eat away the skin, and there's nothing you can do about it. All right, and it could result in amputation. So I'm not quite, if it's a scaly thing that you're talking about, if it's xylazine, it is even more serious than dry skin. All right, and it's also deadly because it stops the breathing.
If you smoked or
It's usually combined with fentanyl because it gets added weight to the fentanyl, and it also prolongs the high of the fentanyl. That's all it does. And it's an animal tranquilizer as well. All right, so naloxone has no effect on someone who has no opioids in their system and no effect on xylazine. And they call them necrotic skin ulcers or methadone, whatever that says, causing massive overdose. All of them are animal tranquilizers, and it's used to build up the volume of the fentanyl so they can sell more.
Question.
Answer. Where's your, who's got the question? Yes. Huh?
Reversal agent for that?
Is there what?
Reversal agent for that?
No, not for xylazine. The Narcan that we have currently does not revert, but xylazine also causes the breath depression and all of those kinds of things. It mimics the fentanyl and the opioid, but it does not respond to the lot. That's why it's so deadly and scary. All right, one of the other things that we want you to do is to talk to your healthcare professional about alternatives to pain management. There are a lot of them out there. Any veterans in here? Did you not know that the VA in Detroit is #1 in the country for reducing the number of opioid prescriptions because they used what was called battlefield acupuncture? And it was effective and it worked. #1 in the country. Other things that you could do. One of the things that we're also promoting is you need to get all old medication out of your house. The DEA take back is coming up April 26th. Unfortunately, the 11th Precinct lost the Golden Throne. They lost it because the 7th took them out. The 7th brought back 100 and some pounds of pills. 11 was close. They were at like 90 some pounds. So we need you to take out the 7th Precinct. All right, that means clean your house of any kind of pills in your house. It can be vet pills. I don't care if they're old and expired and you ain't using them no more. Bring them to the 11th Precinct between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock on April 26th. The DEA take back. I'm going to set up a table out here before I go. So please tell all your friends because 7 is out to get us. And guess what? I'm gonna go to 7 next Friday and tell them the same thing, that 11 is on the way. April 26th is the DEA take back. I'm gonna email this phone number to Kim. This is 24-hour access for any kind of mental health or opioid treatment that you need. All right, substance use, mental health, treatment and recovery. Prevention, you are doing the harm reduction right now. Prevention, we do that at our agency for youth. So this number, I'm gonna make sure that Kim gets it. She's gonna email that to you. If you get it, take a picture of it and keep it in your phone. This is help for Uncle John or Aunt Essie that has that alcohol problem. And if it's you, you can call this number yourself, all right? But when you're ready, it's a number that you can call. For participating, as I said, you're going to get a kit. You're gonna get a certificate of attendance. You can write your own name in it. The reason why you're gonna get also an evaluation and a post-test is based on what we just talked about. It's because that's how we get the money to make sure that we provide this training. So when you complete, and as soon as Kim says it's okay to move about the room, when you complete the pre and the post test that Dawn is going to pass out now and the evaluation, just come over to the table. What we're going to give you is a Narcan kit, and we're also going to give you a Deterra bag. So if you got a small portion of pills after April 26th that you want to get rid of, we don't want you to flush it down the toilet or throw it in the trash. You can put it in this bag.
I got a lot of people that they say now.
Then you get up here on the 26th and then get up here on the 7th. It's gonna take us out.
I just found some friend of mine had, he had touched or whatever.
Get them up here. Any kind of pill, just bring it up. All right. This is what you would have in your kit. You can scan this code or there's a phone number in your kit that you can call. If you use it, I will replace it. If it expires, I will replace it. And this information is in the kit. Also, you may not use it for another 10 months. You may not ever use it. But what the instructions are also in there just in case you forget. Any questions? Statements of profound interest. Yes, ma'am.
You were saying something about CPR and first aid.
Correct.
Where?
Red Cross. You can call the Red Cross so that you can get first aid and CPR training, and they offer it. And there are a number of agencies that may offer first aid and CPR training. I would encourage everybody, if you can, to take that course. And we can figure out, sometimes they can come to you, but I think most of the time you have to go to a place where they're providing. Yes, ma'am.
We just offered, CPR training on Monday because I was in there.
Right.
They were trying to do it, they saying that a lot of people
COVID, they would have moved off the mouth. Right, that's why we give you a mouth guard, that's why I said, don't call if you put your lips on. All right, any other questions? Yes, no, yeah, right now, and so, what we're gonna do, I'm right there, you gonna face this one.
Okay, let me, have you ever been to
No,
Okay, my brother is the president.
then you just have to call me, I'll on my way.
That's what I'm waiting.
We got you. I'll give you my card. All right. And that's the training for anybody, whether it's your church or your women's group or the usher board. We will come to you. We will come to the church. Okay, quiet. Too much conversation, please. All right. So please, as these are coming out, complete the pre and the post test. And then Tim, I turn it over to you. And once everything is done, we'll give you your certificate and your Narcan kit. And thank you very much. Absolutely. Thank you. Oh, he's coming back. Okay, I can't see. Okay, you can come on, Dana, you can come up too. Kiana, can you come over? Sure, because we want you right on camera. We want to make sure.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Why not? Well, good evening, everyone. For those, can you guys hear me okay? Okay. Is this okay? Nope. Okay. All right. I know I've got a lot of information. I'm going to sum it up for you to the best of my ability in the short amount of time that we do have. First, I want to thank the 11th Precinct for always being a great partner. The great work you guys are doing is not overlooked. And thank you, Kim Jackson, for just being a great ally. And all of NPO's captain, commander, thank you. My name's Kayana Sessoms. For those of you that do not know who I am, I'm with through the Department of Neighborhoods, Mayor's Office. I am the district manager through the Department of Neighborhoods. District 3, if you didn't know that you are a District 3 resident, you are here. So you should, be aware of the district that you live in. And thank you all for who are joining us by Zoom. I want to share the flyer that was passed around. We are approaching our Motor City Makeover Initiative, which is our beautification cleanup initiative through the city of Detroit. And we are so excited to launch this again this year. It's been very successful because of everyone in this room in previous years. We've been able to clean up and beautify locations throughout our district, throughout our city. And we can't do that without partnership with our community groups, block clubs, and organizations. So our District 3 date for Motor City Makeover is May 3rd. Mark your calendars. So if you have not had an opportunity to register yet, you can go online, or you can also call 313-224, look at me, 4415, and register online, over the phone or online, your community group or organization for the cleanup and beautification. So what that basically means is our office is going to be able to supply you with gloves, just like a starter kit of cleanup supplies, contractor bags, yard waste bags. And so we've been having conversation with block clubs probably since the beginning of this year about really thinking about where you want to start activating your cleanup. What does that look like? But most importantly, where do you want to beautify on your block as well? So we're going to also have flowers and trees, and we also hand out gardening supplies as well. Last year they had plants such as zucchinis, tomatoes, so you can start a garden as well. So it's really encouraging for you all to come and register. We will have our pickup date is going to be at Farwell. I believe that's April 30th. It's Wednesday. And then we'll be picking up supplies at Northwest Activity Center on May the 2nd, the day before the actual cleanup. So this partnership with the city, it's not just on Motor City Makeover Day, but it is throughout the year, 365 days of the year. We like to promote beautifying our city, making sure it's clean, and that you all are able to receive the support from the city in partnership with our department. So we work with organizations and the block clubs just like that are in this room to support throughout the year. But this is really our kickoff. And so we really want to encourage you all to sign up, get involved. And if you would like to learn more or plan more on how to get engaged, we do have a block club workshop Wednesday, April 16th at 5:30.
We'll be talking a little bit more about planning for Motor City Makeover, helping you identify what that looks like. And another thing is that if you're going to maybe need some support or volunteers, we do have a small volunteer base that we put out for these types of engagements, and you may be able to get volunteers for this. But if you don't get volunteers for this event, does not mean that you can't ask for volunteers in the future if you want to work with our department for a cleanup or something of that nature. So I just want to share a couple of our dates and events that we have upcoming. So this Thursday, April 10th, we have online, we have a home buyers workshop. We're partnering with one of our partners, Fifth Third Bank, is going to go over just the basic steps on how to prepare yourself to become home buyer ready. We've done these workshops for the past maybe 5 years with them. And it's been really, really informative and educational for people to learn what they need in order to make the decision if that's the right track for them. Then next, we have a capacity building workshop on Wednesday, April 23rd at 5:30. And that is going to be hosted at Stay Play Center at 19320 Van Dyke, as well as the Block Club workshop that I had mentioned on Wednesday, April 16th at 5:30. That is in person at the Stay Play Center on Van Dyke as well. I also want to just remind everybody, the Detroit Fire Department, if you haven't heard, it's Safety Seriously. Every second Wednesday of the month, April, May, and June, they're promoting fire safety. And what that means is that they're hosting webinars online to help you understand how to become fire safety ready in your home, how to create a fire safety plan for your family, and really educate yourself around the do's and don'ts for fire safety. So I encourage you all to join that. The next date for May is going to be May 14th. And then the June date is June 11th. I think they're doing their safety April event tomorrow, I believe. And they, I think it was on channel 2 and 4 yesterday. They were at a District 3 residence home with her children and family, walking them through safety fire plans and everything. So it was beautiful to see and make sure that they're well aware of how and what to do in case of a fire. So we really want to encourage you all to share that information with your friends, family across the city, because, you know, it's devastating to know when someone does not have a plan if a fire does break out and there is a loss. So there's ways to prevent that. There's ways to educate yourself to be prepared in case of a fire. And last but not least, we have been hosting citywide Block Club workshops. At Northwest Activity Center last month, we had about, I want to say 150 turnout in person for a great event. It was a lot of shared resources and information that was brought together for everyone citywide. We're going to be hosting our next citywide Block Club event on May 21st at Northwest Activity Center. And it's going to be a Detroit trivia night. So for those of you that think you know a lot about the city that you live in, you'll be tested this evening, that night, to see if your knowledge stands up to what you believe you know, and to have fun, and learn more about your city and learn more about, you know, your neighbors, and those that live in your district. So we really want to encourage participation. You all come out. If you aren't signed up to receive District 3 emails or, you know, emails, please make sure if you have a smartphone or cell phone with you, please text the number 468-311 so you can start to receive alerts to your phone in relationship to the information that comes out of our office. You'll put the District 3 into the text box, and you'll start to receive emails or text alerts to your phone in relationship to that district. And say that you're from District 4, but you're here visiting with District 3 tonight. This number is applicable to you as well. You can put District 4, District 7, whatever district that you would like to start receiving information for into that text box and receive those notifications. It's 468-311. That's it. It's just a short text of 468-311. Another way that you can sign up to receive information and stay connected to what's going on in the city is going to DetroitMI.gov. I think the city has an amazing website. They have so much information on there that you wouldn't believe. They've been updating things. They make sure information is relevant, aside from the little text list that went out about DPW, but, really go there to check it out. If you go online, you can scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page and sign up for their newsletters. And you'll put your email address at the bottom, and then it's going to prompt you to know what departments do you want to receive information from, and then you'll start to get all of that information as well. So I encourage you to sign up, look into this ways of staying connected to the information that comes out to the departments that you want to really learn more about and get involved with. So last but not least, our office hours are every Tuesday at Farwell Recreation Center between the hours of 1 and 5. You can schedule an appointment or come up to meet with myself or Kenzie Current. We're your district managers for District 3. We're happy to assist you in person. We also are scheduling walk and talks. We did our first walk and talk yesterday. And what that basically means is that we work together very closely with DPD as well as BC, Building Safety Environmental Engineering Department, to see and walk the concerns in your neighborhood. And so we're able to address them with you, knock on doors, have conversations with residents in relationship to compliance. Please bring your trash can in or whatever else that we may be monitoring at that time with you. And so just wanted to encourage you, if you would like one of those in your neighborhood, please feel free to contact us. You can reach me directly at 313-348-8464. And I have completely lost my voice this evening. And so I really thank you all for taking the time out of your day, for staying connected and being here, because showing up matters. It really does. And so thank you guys for hosting this space. And yes, question?
Okay, on the Motor City makeover, what time are you gonna start?
May the 3rd, that's what time are you going to start on May the 3rd? We don't set that time, so we want to encourage you to talk to your neighbors. What time do they want to get out and start working together? Yeah. So, it's really all day, but we'll be asking you questions about your pickup location for trash and debris, and where you want that to be. Yeah, you know what the drill is.
But what about the flower pickup?
Flower pickup, so you'll be receiving notification. Last year, it was like between 9 and 1. We staggered it out between districts because all 3 districts, District 1, 2, and 3, will be getting flowers the same day. So the time for District 3 will probably be more in the afternoon, but they'll communicate with you via phone or text, email. Whatever, when you register, you'll be receiving that information for that. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Any questions? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just everything.
Okay.
I wanted to go.
Okay, we can schedule that. That sounds good. Any other questions that I can try to answer for you? Yes, ma'am. The home fire. Yes, ma'am. That's gonna be online Zoom. So I just sent out emails on Gov Delivery. So if you have that text to your phone, you would be receiving it. If you would like for me to email that to you directly, I can send you that flyer. Any other questions? I appreciate you guys for coming out. Let's make this a great spring season that's upon us. I hope to see you all on Motor City Makeover. And I'll see you next month. Yeah, of course. 313-348-8464. Dear God, I need some tea. 3 at home. 313-348-8464.
Will we be getting gondolas this year?
You got it. Oh, I don't know. What's that? The gondola?
Yeah, the big truck.
Oh, it's got like a dumpster?
Yeah.
It just depends on what type of cleanup you're doing. So we would just have to have a conversation. When we clean, we can find. Okay, thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, bye, people.
Damien, you're next, buddy.
I love their voice. Oh my God. I gave my water.
All right, hello, everybody.
Hey,
We got a lot of great Block Club leaders in the room, so it's appreciated that everybody here today. That means the Block Club leaders doing their job.
Yeah.
How many Block Club leaders are here today? All right, that's awesome. All right, so if you are proud of the work that's going on at the 11th Precinct, can you give the people here a round of applause? So you got a lot of police officers here that just don't work 9 to 5. I seen some of your captain and your commander at a park on the side street talking to some residents on the Block Club. And that was almost, what, 6, 7 o'clock at night? And they start pretty early. So we're proud of the work that they're doing. They're going above and beyond, and that's more than enough. So we are definitely proud to have everybody here that's working. I'm Damian Mitchell, the community liaison for Councilman Scott Benson.
Yeah.
Thank you, I appreciate that. So yeah, definitely appreciate the opportunity to work for you the last 3 years. So information, the 11th Precinct is hosting their Easter Fun Fest. And also you have, what is this? It's gonna be a shuttle taking people to Lasky Recreation Center. So it's gonna be a real big event.
That will be here.
And get to the shuttle.
All right. I have to walk down here.
But this flyer is on the table. It's gonna be April the 19th, a Saturday. And the police department put a lot of effort into making this nice along with the city. So you should have a really good time. All right, next, youth program, putting youth first. I had this program for about 16 years. It's a youth program at the Wilder Library, which we have the Wilder Library manager in the room. All right, so the program is for 8 to 14-year-olds. This specific Monday, we're gonna have this rapper that all the kids know about. He's gonna be there the 14th, 4 o'clock. But on April the 28th, you're gonna have your captain, Captain Griffin, will be speaking to the kids at 4 o'clock. So this will all take. Oh. But he won't be rapping. But he'll be talking about public safety and things like that. And that flyer is on the table. All right, so at the Matrix Center, located at 6 Mile and Grafton, they received a grant for $500,000. With that was a grant from General Motors. So it's allowing the Matrix to offer 2 training programs. One is Certified Manufacturing Associate, and the second one is Electric Vehicle Fundamentals Associate.
It is cold.
The program?
Yeah, they got enough.
Oh.
Both classes.
Okay.
So right now.
Oh, so right now. Okay, so I'm in the building. They didn't tell me. So I will find out about that. Yeah. All right, next, it's a lot of people in our district that needs to get some additional education. So at the Matrix, they also offer online training, not to get a GED, but you actually get a high school diploma. So that information is on the table. So we need to make sure that people understand that they can get that. And it also offers other certifications. So like food, hospitality, retail.
Please, one conversation.
Retail customer service, child care and education, so you can get these certificates for free at the Metro. All right, this is Public Health Week. So it's important to talk about different subjects that's important in public health. The subject that we are talking about is prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is something that could be curable if you catch it in time. But a lot of people avoid the hospital, and sometimes it get, go a little bit too far. So we want to make sure that we talk to our family and friends, making sure that they get checked, just to, get their yearly check to make sure that they don't have some of these severe issues that they could have. Cancer is something that take a lot of us out. And we want to do what we can to avoid that. And the fact sheet and information is also on the table from the American Cancer Society. All right. Free estate planning workshop. So a lot of people, they don't have their situations in order and they pass on. And a lot of times you got a lot of fighting in families. It's a lot of fighting because the people don't have things planned out where they think should go. So the city is partnering with the public library and the Detroit Housing Network to offer free estate planning class and help you do the paperwork so you can get your estates in order. How many people got their will and estates in order? All right, we need to have more people. We need to, that's good, but we need to have more, so we need to share that information to make sure people on target. All right, Public Health Week. So from April 7th to April 13th, the city of Detroit recognizes Public Health Week. And in our district, we have a ceasefire peace walk, April 11th from 1 to 3. And April the 12th, we got Family Fun Wellness Day at the Ford Resource and Engagement Center. And that will be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And that flyer is also on the table. You don't need an ID, no appointment, and no insurance is needed to participate. All right, this is tax season. The tax deadline is coming pretty soon. So the Accountant Aid Society has tax assistance, and it costs you $0 if you make under $67,000. If you know anybody who needs that assistance, it's free, and they can go do that, so they don't have to owe. We don't want people missing the deadline.
Under what?
67,000. All right. A lot of people call about trees. Got a lot of trees that they won't cut down. So I get a flyer talking about the 6 different tips for getting your trees serviced in your neighborhood. That flyer is provided. We'll tell you about what a tree is. Should you handle fallen trees? How do you check the request, their status for getting rid of the trees, the nuisance tree, and how vendors are assigned to tell you about that. So that flyer also is on the table. All right, so I work in the district office, 6 miles of Gratiot at the Matrix Center. We work Monday through Friday. So if you don't want to go downtown, this thing you want to talk about or handle, you can walk right in our office. It's good to make an appointment, but either me or Terry Catchings are working in the office for you. And if you need us to come to your house, we'll come out, take pictures, or see whatever the issue is. Because we definitely appreciate the opportunity to work for you.
What's your last name?
Damian Mitchell. Our office number is 313-530-0587. And we do our best to call you back because we know, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. So that's it. I appreciate the opportunity to serve you.
Thank you. Okay, we got one more thing before we get ready to go. We're gonna do the raffle. Well, 2 more. Okay, so what we're gonna do, and this is gonna be next Monday, April the 14th. I want you guys to write it down, and if I need to, I'll send you out an email. We're gonna do in the John R. and East McNichols area. That's the gas station that was shut down this afternoon by DPD and DC. What we're gonna do, that area needs love, bottom line, and we know it does. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna meet at John R. and McNichols area. We're gonna say area. We might have a spot, but I'll send that out once we get everything confirmed. Once I hear from the big chief over here, then I'll let you guys know. But the area is gonna be John R. 6 Mile. And we're gonna pass out information to the houses over there. We're gonna pass out information to get them involved. There is a survey down here at the bottom. So we're gonna make sure you guys get these flyers and then take this little survey. All you do is point your camera at it and you can take the survey, okay? So this is something we're gonna do next Monday. I will send out a reminder. Y'all probably get tired of me, but I'm gonna send out another reminder, okay? Next on the list, we have, our council person at large, and that is, Mary Waters. If you'd like to come up and then, yes, ma'am. Next All right, everybody, I know that, it's been here for a while, so I'm not gonna keep you long. I'm Mary Waters, one of your council members at large. And I tell everybody that you have 3 council members. 2 at large. Conversation. 1, 2 at large that represent the whole city, and then your district person, right? So you at least, all of us, all 9 of us are actually supposed to be your council members, but for sure, you have 3 council members, so always remember that. It is an honor to serve you, in the city of Detroit. So we just finished up budget last night. And, so we were there till about just before midnight, because by law, you have to pass the budget, before midnight. You put me in the budget? What? You know, you include it anyway, you see all the time. Okay, and so let me just tell you some of the things that I managed to put in this budget. And you all will be happy to know that Mary Waters has been getting things done since she's been on that city council. I didn't go that far, and that's been real. So, in this particular budget, I sponsored $5 million for the homeless. I also, because you know, we have the homeless population is growing a lot here in this city. So we have to have a way of addressing the homeless. $500,000 for workforce housing. And let me tell you, a workforce housing fund. And here's why I call it workforce housing. For example, last year, I created a fund called Senior Accessibility. For seniors who want to age gracefully in their homes, we come in, if you qualify, and see, that was income restricted. Ramps, rails, and a kit to help you get in and out of your shower, if in fact you have some issues. So that's what I did last year. And basically, what I didn't like about the opera funding coming from the federal government, and that is, it was an income restriction. So, a lot of seniors called my office, and they said, Ms. Waters, I still want to walk in the shower. So how do you help me do that? So I created a workforce housing fund, because oftentimes, sometimes, you're just over that threshold. You know, when it comes to the income, sometimes it could be $2 to $50, and they won't help you. So I decided to go for a public-private partnership, some city funds, and working with some of the other people in the city, the other business people, to add additional money to the fund. And I've already started talking to other people, to contractors who will know how to go in and install those showers. So I have a list at my office, and I said, I'm not gonna let my senior down. I gotta figure out how to get this done. I also put $1 million in there for skilled trades. You know, oftentimes a lot of our people, sometimes young people don't want to go to college, but they're really good at working with their hands. So my focus was electrical, carpentry, and plumbing for this particular program at the cities. Last year, I started the veterans department, the first ever. I think I saw a veteran here. There she is. Yes. And so, because I think we have about 21,000 veterans here in this city, and we want to be able to assist our veterans. You have a veteran behind you. That's where everybody goes. Okay. I started a program called Next Up 313. That's a young entrepreneur program. We want to do a little bit more to keep our young people in the city. If they want to start and grow their own businesses, we're going to teach them how, and we're going to offer them micro grants for startup. I secured some mattresses for our firemen. You know, firemen have been sleeping on mattresses, the same mattress for over 20 years. In those firehouses, it didn't make any sense. So I put money in the budget for
for that, so that they can have some new mattresses to sleep on. That's the least we can do. I eliminated the rest of the remainder of the subsidy for the land bank. I've been on that land bank since I got Get them subsidy movie. I was like, no, you're not getting any more of our money. They have all this land and so forth that they sell off. They keep all the revenues for themselves. And they have a surplus. So why do you want money?
Right, that's right.
So I stripped them of all of it. It is gone. Well, I also started a tennis rights commission. I don't know if we have any renters in here at all, or if you know some renters, but that was the purpose of me starting passing a tennis rights ordinance. So that people will have an avenue to help their concerns be addressed, right? And so following that was a compliance ordinance. A lot of times landlords don't maintain their property. And I'm gonna tell you what was driving me for to pass those two ordinances, tenants' rights and the compliance ordinances. You all remember this, the little baby, 11-month-old baby, Kamaya, that's right, fell through a hole in the floor and one piece died. And it's been driving me since I got to city council. That's why I did so much with housing issues. I didn't know that I was gonna be working on housing issues so much when I got there, but I had that baby on my mind. And I said, no child should have to die that way. And so I started a call center, a dedicated call center in her name, one-stop shop, the Kamaya Davis Family Resource Center. And as soon as they get the building ready, I'm gonna put a building in her name. And let me tell you why that's so critical. Because we all need to be reminded. You see, when you put the human aspect to it, that helps us to remember that we should not allow people to live or die that way. And so that's why it's called the Kamaya Davis Family Resource Center. Now, the police department, we gave you all the money you asked for. And the speaker of the House was here yesterday out of Lansing. And so he's going to give us, they're working in Lansing to pass that public safety trust fund, which is going to give us more dollars in our neighborhoods for police and safety and so forth. I'm looking forward to that. Speaker Hall says he's 100% committed to doing that so that we can do more, so that you can have more support out there on the streets, and we can continue to use our community violence intervention groups that are out there assisting us. So all of those things are critical. We also put money in the budget for evictions. You know, getting evicted. So many people, and they need to be able to have attorneys to help represent them. And we, you know, and of course that's income restricted too. A lot of times when you get these federal and state dollars, it's income restricted. And so you have to make a certain income in order to qualify. I've been trying to attack the whole HUD issue since I got to council, because I don't want people to lose. Some of the seniors, especially who lives in the buildings, the high rises, they are worried with this current administration in Washington, D.C. whether or not they're going to lose their housing vouchers. So I wrote a letter to the new HUD secretary, his name is Scott Turner, and I said, I need you to come in to the city of Detroit, because I need you all to stop just throwing numbers out there. We want you to see the faces of the people that you could possibly hurt. And so the HUD secretary said he's going to come. He's going to give me a date. I don't have the date yet, but I'm looking forward to it, so that we can explain to him what our needs are. And the one thing I want him to do is to agree to change that AMI, the area median income. We can no longer have our income compared to Livonia and Warren. Livonia average income is like $90,000. Warren is about 62.
And here, you're talking 27 to 35. Wow. So needless to say, when they get ready to increase the rent, it hurts us big time. It hurts us big time. So we want all of our partners at the local, state, and federal levels. We all need to work together as elected officials. I don't see my job just as city council. I have to look at the total picture and help my counterparts, both in Lansing and in DC, to understand how we have to work together to maximize our resources. That's why you should have been in Canada. They wouldn't let me go. I tried with them. I know they had to chat every. When folks don't want to do no work, they don't want anybody else gonna do some work. A lot of people don't do work. You do the job. That's why I always take it serious. When I was in Lansing, I took it serious. There every day, didn't miss one day of work. So, but I do take public service very serious. And as long, and anybody who says they want to represent you, always keep that in mind. It is a service. And when you get too important that you don't want to do it, go find somebody else to do it. And that's just how I feel. Now, I want you to mark your calendars. You know, I have my annual senior summer sizzler at Shed 3. July 8th is this year. Good time for all the seniors, yes. I love doing it. Yeah, you were there. 2,000 there. So I'm trying to talk as fast as I could. So I won't take up a lot of time. But we did address a number of really good issues this time in the budget for you. So I want you all, anytime that you have any questions, you need my help, and you know somebody that's living on the streets, please have them call my office, because we help a lot of people find shelter and so forth, a place to live. So my number is 313-628-2363. Again, the number is 313-628-2363. And I'll leave it at that. There's a whole lot more to say, but I want to thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Yes. Keep us updated. Yes. And when I can't come, I make sure my staff comes, just so that we can update you. But we've been on skates. Good. Yes.
I just wanted to give you a shout out. The city council passed an ordinance in the city of Detroit 9-0. I've been working in substance abuse prevention for our youth for, I'm not gonna tell you how many years. But they just passed an ordinance about all the billboards that are advertising marijuana in our communities, that they cannot be 1,000 feet of sensitive areas. Sensitive areas are defined as places where our children are gathering. And I just want to say thank you so much.
Yeah. And that ordinance was drafted by both Member Benson and Calloway, and all the rest of us supported it. Yes.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you all so much. Always know that I love you. All right. Okay, we got how much for 50/50? Oh, okay. Okay, well, while you holding on, you got something, because we gonna interrupt you, because we got to go. I gotta get my officers out of here, because they looking at me real sad. And I ain't gonna be real off.
I'll be brief. I bring brief from Commissioner Martin G. Scott's office. And I just wanted to let you know that we passed out a flyer and our newsletter. And what we did, there's a number on here for if you have any, if you would like to report any county roads in your area, you can call the number 1-888 road and report a road like East Grand Boulevard, Gratiot, not Gratiot, East Outer Drive. Those are like county roads in our area. The commissioner, she changed her coffee hours, and that's going to be located at 11633 Hampton. The Kiosk Institute at 11633 Joker Peak, from 9 to 10. From 9 to 10.
And we're gonna be going into budget season shortly. So hopefully you'll take heed of our newsletter. And if you have any concerns that you may have with the commissioner or anything you'd like to report, you can call our office at 313-224-0878. And it's always good to see our colleague, one of my former colleagues in the room, Mary Waters, me and Mary. We served in the legislature together. And it's good. Oh, Councilwoman, do we have a quorum?
Tonight?
Yes, between me and you, we can do something right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You ready, Leon?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, 50-50 tonight is.
Pledging $109, making the 50 jackpot 54.50.
I should got it on.
You like to pull the number? Yeah.
Sure. I know one of that she called, let her pull some.
Yeah.
We'll pull her sleeves up first.
Right, she might laugh.
Right.
Take it up. And then we got the baseball tickets after that. Baseball tickets. I'm sturdy like coffee. I didn't lay like coffee.
834-195.
195.
195.
195. Okay. 195.
Hey, got a winner.
Mickey,
Mickey McCann.
That is McCann.
Oh,
I don't know about
and we got to pull another one for baseball tickets.
Got Tigers versus the Yankees tomorrow at 6:40 p.m.
Compliments of Commissioner Scott.
Yeah, because I got mine. There, pull my ticket out of there.
834-204.
Good 3 days.
2 3. Here. Here we go. What about okay, it is like 8:33. Good night. This was a wonderful meeting. I'm sorry to keep you guys for so long, but it was so much information given out. See you guys. Somebody back there. Right here. She was the VFW hall. Guys, leave out, please be safe. Oh, she's coming up here now. She's with us. Thank you.